Now we start the program in earnest, and we're starting off with looking at how the president can come together with a credible cabinet. It's some people have said the delay in appointing new ministers. In some quarters, they think it is just an act of whereby the president is trying to find a balance between deep competing interests on the back of all of the political parties that came together, and then, you know, where he ran on as a presidential candidate. But the president has said that he's taking his time to be able to put together credible men to work with him. While Nigerians wait for, that list, I think the list is supposed to be out in September. We're expecting it to be, the list of the cabinet members to be out in September. Is there any way this delay is affecting negatively the nation? How can we help the president put together this men? This morning we have in the studio two gentlemen. We have a legal practitioner, Mr. Wahab Shitu. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for inviting me.
We also have a social commentator, Mr. Oscar Onwodiwe. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let me start with Mr. Onwodiwe. It's been how many months now? May, June, July, August. We're in the 4th month when the president has been sworn in, and there is no cabinet yet. Do you think this is having any kind of effect on the nation at present?
I wish I were an economist. I'm very, very sure I'll be able to give you clear analysis of what you lose per day. But because I'm not, I can only tell you very easily that the signal is like there is no preparedness.
Okay, just hold your thoughts. I think we have in our Abuja studios, Mr. Osita Okechukwu, an APC chieftain. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now back to the studio here. You were saying it seems there is no preparedness.
That's the way I'm looking at it. You know, those of us who are not economists and cannot give you day to day, are we losing or are we not losing? If we come on, you're ready to hit the ground running, which was the expectation of everybody, but we have to wait for credible men, in which case, since we're looking for credible men in Nigeria, we may wait for a lot longer than September. I don't know. And I don't know where we're looking for the credible men. We have a lot of credible people in Nigeria. But they may not be around the political parties. So, except, of course, the rule is that you must choose from within the political party or we'll have another fight, you know, like we had in the National Assembly. So, other than that, we don't understand. The truth is, a lot of us are wondering what is going on.
Okay.
And there's something we can learn from this. Is there a way we can cut down government? There is too much government.
All right, let's go to our Abuja studios. Mr. Okechukwu, he said it seems that there's no preparedness and people are wondering what is going on.
Yeah, thank you very much. I could hear what Barrister Onwodiwe had said. And luckily, Mr. President himself has also his own feedback mechanism. So he had heard the Nigerian people and he had responded in various forms, one of which is that he wants to put a foundation in place. He wants new rules for good governance to emerge. Not that he's reluctant to appoint people. A lot of names have come across to him, some technocrats of very high degree. But a good audit has also shown that most of them have also been part of the corrupt system he inherited. He has names, former governors, former ministers, former commissioners, former heads of agencies, departments, and some of them could have been accommodated immediately. But he had also found that these same people could have been good, but their records, in one way or the other, contributed to the dangerous slide of Nigerian states to a failed state. And the Mr. President is saying he's not going to go to heaven to look for angels. But at the same time, it is important that both the politicians he's going to accommodate and the technocrats he's going to accommodate should be people of impeccable character to also approximate his own political capital, which is transparency. And if he had rushed to appoint people, it's possible that critics could have also said, oh, he didn't look well, there was no foundation for sound government. And the same people could have also said, this is when we were in the campaign, one of the critics against Mr. President was that he over-delegates powers. He said yes, he delegates powers because he cannot run government alone. But at the same time, before he can delegate powers, he has to be sure who is heading which ministry, who is heading which department, who is heading which agency. And I said, if you look back to those countries that have succeeded, they look back like Singapore, we all are very much abreast with Lee Kuan Yew. These people took time to build foundation for their country. Abraham Lincoln took time to build foundations for his country. And for today, even if you go through the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you will find that under Section 5, the section says that Mr. President is vested with executive powers, which one he can exercise. Secondly, he can delegate to the vice president and ministers. Thirdly, he can also delegate to officers of the public service of the federal government of Nigeria. And I do not think that Mr. President had in any way breached any part of the Constitution. And the manifesto of the APC states categorically that our business is to fight war against corruption and national reorientation. If you want Mr. President to people his government with those who are corrupt, who put Nigeria where we are, that would be very unfortunate. But I think that we're already in August today, and in the next 30 days we're in September. I think the best thing Nigerian people should crave for is have the confidence they reposed on President Muhammad Buhari. Is he realized that at the end of the day, he has a 48 months mandate. We have just crossed 2 months, which is barely 5% of his time. So I understand the patience, the impatience of Nigerians for a change, but you cannot achieve this change in the midst of what Mr. President had discovered since he got the handover documents and since he had interacted with the PAMSECs and other heads of agencies. It might be very easy if you are outside the realm not to understand the kind of rot Mr. President met in taking over.
Okay, Mr. Okechukwu, we'll just come back to the studio. He said the president has not run foul of any law and it needs more time to build